loves Hobby Lobby? I know I do. I don't even have a house anymore. I don't even have a place to decorate. But you know what? I love to go there and I love to go up and down the aisles and look at all the decorations for the seasons or the different colors for the rooms. I actually was there just walking around looking at all of the pictures and all of the decorations. And as I was walking through Hobby Lobby, something kind of hit me. They have decorations for every room, your porch, your kitchen, your bathroom, your bedroom, the living room. They even have decorations for the laundry room. But do you know what they don't have decorations for? The hallway. Yep. Because you know what? It was never meant to be decorated. It was never meant to be sat in and lived in and being a place of your home. It's a pass through, right? And so the place between where you're coming or where you're going and where you're coming, or the other way around. Anyways, to be honest, I'm going to tell you, lately I've kind of felt like maybe I've been living in a hallway. And so I don't know if I'm coming or going. Clearly, you can tell because I just couldn't even get the sentence right. Some doors have closed on me, others have not opened yet. And some days just feel kind of uncertain to me. And so I think many of you might be there too. And wondering what's next and asking yourself, have you missed your chance? Is it too late? Maybe you're standing in the hallway waiting for a door to open. Welcome to Big Talk at the Table. I'm Joni Leigh, and today my guest and I, Bonita, are going to be talking about living in the hallway and is it too late? How do you trust that it's just not too late? So welcome to Big Talk at the Table, Bonita. So we're going to talk about the hallway, and I have to tell you lately, we kind of even felt that before we even recorded this episode. It was, let's not maybe do it today. I felt kind of off. And I do feel kind of off. And I think that's what's the real thing about this is that I don't want to say living in the hallway, but I definitely am in the hallway.
We just don't know what to do, how to be, where am I supposed to be? It just doesn't feel right.
Right. Well, and I think the biggest mistake is, and I know this is one that I have to keep coming back to myself, is that the hallway it's not a destination. We were never meant to live there. Just like I said yesterday as I was walking through Hobby Lobby, they don't make pretty little pillows for the hallway that say like home sweet home or anything like that. So it's not meant a place for us to stay, live, take root in, right? And so why do you think so many of us, I mean, we do, that's what we get in the hallway and we just think that that's it.
Yeah, well, for sure, because there doesn't appear to be anything around us. There's no door that looks like it's ready to be opened. So what do? We just sit there and wait. But perhaps if we had a different mindset of, oh, this is just temporary, it will show up. But instead, we kind of sit there and stew because it's not here yet. And we want
Right.
it now. And we don't like this feeling. So we want to pick any door that we can to go through.
Well, I think that's the problem, right? Is you're trying to pick a door maybe or open a door that's not open yet. It's not even unlocked yet.
Yeah, it's
Um,
not ready. We're not ready. We have
right.
to do something to get ready so that door will open.
So let's talk about that because I think that that's where a lot of people just get stuck is that they're in the hallway. They're not supposed to decorate the hallway because they're not staying there. But then they stay long enough that they start feeling like maybe they need to make it home. And so how do we go from that feeling to I need to try doors to see what's unlocking for me?
Well, I think that's exactly it. You have to try some things. Um, so, what looks fun, what looks fulfilling, what looks exciting, what might bring you joy. And you can dabble in those things to find the right thing for you for this period of time. It's like there's never one right thing. It's a right thing for now. And then there'll be another right thing for now and another right thing for now. And that's how you move forward in your journey when you're kind of, well, I'm here now and I want to go over there, but I don't know how to get there directly. So it's like a lot of layovers. Like you're on
Yes.
the airplane.
That just happened to me too. Not a layover, but I was stuck on the runway. That's another great episode,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
I mean, that's kind of being in the hallway. You're stuck on the runway. Like, you don't. So, this literally just happened to me. And we got stuck on the runway for so long that we had to go back to the gate to get more fuel because they had rerouted our route and we didn't have enough fuel to get to that destination. And so I feel like it's such a like it I felt like it was my life. Like I'm stuck on the runway and I really don't want to go back to the gate. You don't want to go back, right? But sometimes you have to in order to get what you need to get to your destination.
Right. You wouldn't have had enough fuel to get where you were going. So,
Correct.
you know, it's um, a higher consciousness that's guiding us and saying, "Whoa, hold on. Um, we got to do something else first." And you don't know what that's going to be either, but it shows up.
Right.
But you have to be aware enough to think, "Oh, that's for me. That's for
And so
me."
how do people get into that awareness?
Really paying attention. There's all kinds of signs. Um, I can tell you a story of when I knew I had to leave the job I was in, and I wasn't even looking to do that. But I was working in a pharmacy. It's a small town. And when I went to work that day and punched in the alarm code, I pushed away instead of off. And I thought, well, that was weird. And then later that day, the door must have been opened. A group of boys are walking down the street, teenage boys, and they're singing na 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 na, hey, 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 goodbye. And in that instant, I knew that was for me. And, just putting those things together, and it's like, I have to leave. I have to leave my job. And I did.
And you did. And just like that. Some boy saying na 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 goodbye and you're like, I gotta leave my job.
Well, it was with
But
combined with the
so
away, because I know
right,
it was just a message for me. I mean, what are the chances that they would be singing a song from my
right,
era?
right, right, right.
And I just knew. I just knew.
So here's the thing that I think I'm kind of stuck up on, and I think that a lot of people probably might feel the way if I feel this way, I'm sure other people do. We're in this hallway and it's a pause, right? It's you're not at your destination. It is just a holding pattern that you're in. How do you get out of your mindset of it's just a holding pattern to wait for what the right door is or the opportunity to open and not failure? Because I take pauses. I mean, you know me, I go full speed almost all the time. And when I'm not going full speed and when I'm pausing, I'm learning to get better about it. But I always go right, my brain wants to immediately go to, you failed at that. You suck at that. That's what immediately, that's what my brain wants to tell me. So,
Mm-hmm.
how do we get out of that, thinking that a pause is a failure?
Well, I think you just have to remind yourself, I don't know what's next. And then be aware of those signs that show up to say, um, okay, well, just hold on. There's something coming. And, you can take action. I know when I've been in the hallway and I scramble to find something, which door, and then maybe I'll sign up for a class. I'm like, well, yeah, that wasn't it, but I did learn something, and so I guess there's a method to the madness, but we just have to know that it's temporary. We are not going to be living in this hallway.
So, I'm going to talk about a little bit more about kind of personally what's going on with me because that's exactly I call them God nudges and I feel them or I experience them a lot. And I'm very in tune to that. I'm very, I can put like you did, like you put together the Away and the boys singing that song, and you were like, that's for me. And I can do that most often. What about the person who can't? What about the person who's like, you keep talking about all these things and notice the signs and God nudges and all of this, but I don't see any of those things.
I was there too. I didn't see any of those things when I started. And I started taking intuitive development classes because I wanted to have my best life and I didn't know how to get there. And so it was just learning and, being okay with not knowing. That's really tough for a left brain person. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
I want to know, and I want to know now, and I want to know it. I remember years and years ago, I kept asking Spirit, what's my title? What am I going to be when I grow up? Me, this was already, I was already grown up, but what am I going to be? What am I going to, I asked for like 2 years. And 4 o'clock one morning, I heard in my head, spiritual change agent. And I said, that's perfect. But you can't put that on a business card. So now what? And so then that was the next 15, 20 years of my life.
So it's funny that you said that because, as you know, I, it's almost been a year that I have, actually, it's been over a year that I've left Michigan. Not quite a year that it's been since I've been on the road in the RV. Um, and this kind of all has just been transpiring as I feel like doors keep opening, right? Like start a podcast, I'm working on a book, and you know, what is it all transpiring to? And I had one of those kind of like the door opened a little bit today for me. And it's exactly what you just said. What do I want to be when I grow up? And I am grown up. So the same thing, it was, why is that coming into my mind? And I'm thinking because it's the thought of, which always intrigues me. I'm like you, I like to take classes, I like to learn things, I like to be adventurous. That's it. Like, I don't know that I want to be just one thing. And so I think I want to go experience like all the things. Not that I'm going to want to be that as a career, but how do you know what brings you joy unless you experiment, try things, right? And explore.
Exactly. You have to try it or learn about it. I've taken so many classes. I'm like, yep, that was great, but yeah, I'm not going to do that. And you know, to then find what's really the right thing. Did I jump the gun too much? Well, I'm not going to say they were mistakes. They were an experiment. I think we've
Mm-hmm.
used that word before. It's an
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
experiment, and it works or it doesn't. And I like that or I didn't like that. But okay, it took me someplace. It told me what I
Mm-hmm.
didn't want. So now let's find out what I do want.
Mm-hmm. So we talk about classes, and I love to take classes, and that's really how the theme for the Hive and the community that I want to build came from because I took a class on beekeeping, and my dad was a beekeeper, and I thought, well, maybe I want to be a beekeeper. So I wanted to go learn about bees because I think they're just amazing animals. So I went and took this class, and I walked out of there going, I am not going to be a beekeeper. That is not what I want to be at all. But little did I know that it was going to transform into all of the brand of what I wanted to build as a community. I didn't know that when I took the class.
Absolutely. That's one of those God nudges you talked about.
Yes, yes. And it just has turned into something absolutely incredible as far as what the community I would like to create for us to be able to uplift each other. And bees are just fascinating. And I would have never, ever put the two and two together if I wouldn't have taken that class. So again, it wasn't a failure because I'm not a beekeeper. It just, the way I went into it wasn't what came out of it, but something really great came out of it.
Yeah, surprise.
Yeah. Just not me in a white suit. Well, Um, how do we trust ourselves again? How do we trust that door, that thing, when you kind of lost trust in yourself? Because I think sometimes when we're in the hallway, the pause, we start second guessing ourselves.
We sure do. And you just kind of have to sit with it and be patient. I don't know that there's a way to, for myself, that I can identify. I just know that something's coming. It's just not here yet. And maybe it's just having an outlook of, well, I wonder where this takes me. I wonder what's next, without getting down on ourselves for not knowing.
And so when you're in the patient, that's not me. See, that I try very hard at that, but that's so not me. How do you get to talk to yourself again, to believe in yourself again? And I'm talking about after something that, usually something comes when you're in the hallway, when there's a great transition in your life. It's usually when, you've experienced some kind of loss, you've had some kind of disappointment, something that you thought was going a certain way doesn't, and you end up in this big pause. How do you begin again after that?
One step at a time. What looks interesting now doesn't mean you're going to do it forever, but maybe it will take you someplace. It's trying new things and seeing who are you now. I think we've talked about that before. You know,
Mm-hmm.
when something comes up and knocks you off kilter, it's like, well, what do I want? Who am I now? What's my next step? It doesn't happen overnight.
I find a lot of these times when I'm asking myself those questions, something that I have found that has been extremely helpful for me is keeping a journal and writing things down. Because when you're asking yourself those questions, who am I now? You kind of might think to yourself, what do you mean? I know who I am. Well, you're really not going to probably answer it the same way that if you would have asked yourself that question 5 years ago, you're not going to answer the question the same way as you would in who you are now, because you've experienced things, you've had life happenings to you, and things have shifted, things have changed. So I don't think you're going to answer the question fully the same way, even though your brain might want to tell you, well, you're the same person you were 5 years ago. You're not.
Well, we have to take the time to get introspective and do that and look back and see, what was I doing then and what was I interested in then, and does it still light me up now? Is there, you know, I'm a different person now, and there's other things that I didn't even know about then. There's been so many things that I didn't know about back then that I know now.
Mm-hmm.
Would I want to trade places with my old self? No, for sure. This is much more fun.
Yes, I would agree. There are some things I'd like to tell my old self, but I
But
don't think I want to trade places with my old self. No,
no, no.
not at all. So I would say for me that one of the things has been when I can't see the door opening, when I don't know what lies ahead. Um, it's been my faith. I mean, I think that that is something that I stand grounded in, I stand rooted in. I think that's where my unwavering um, sense of security comes from, is from that. And I know that's not for everyone, but that's what helps me. Um, and I do know that there's times, I mean, it's so, traveling and doing the RV life, and everyone's like, "Oh, that's my dream to do it." It's a lot of work, and when you're very uncertain of where your next place you're going to rest your head is, or where your next state you're going to, or where you're going to stay. I mean, there's so many questions that come up. It becomes a lot of work, and it can be very anxiety, very stressful. Um, I know I have a lot of unanswered questions, and I just kind of have to go with it because I'm just going where I'm supposed to go.
Well, I think that's it. We just kind of follow the clues. I mean, do you go up to the door and do you try to turn the handle and you shake it and it's not going to open, or do you sit back and go, all right, I know I'm okay. It'll come.
So I used to be the girl that would go and open, like, I wouldn't just shake it. I'd try and get a credit card out and try and bust the lock.
That doesn't surprise me.
But I've got a lot better with I'm just trusting. And I feel like when I'm at that stage, um, things start coming together and I see it. It's like I told like an aha moment, and I think it goes to say that when you plan something, it's kind of like what we say all the time. It's like you just got to take the first step. You just got to take the first action. Some of the great podcasts that you listen to today, guess what? They started with 0 listeners, right? They started with nobody. And but you have to do it, because if you don't do that and put yourself there, then you're never going to know what that possibility could turn into.
Well, that's exactly my story with having a workshop. I had a workshop scheduled for May. One person signed up. Okay, well, I met with them in my office instead of the venue that we were going to do. I've got another one scheduled for this weekend. We'll see what happens. It works or it doesn't. It's an experiment. It's okay. I'm good
Mhm.
either way, and I'm going to learn something from it.
And it's not failure, right?
No, no.
And I think that's the hardest part, is what we put so much pressure on ourselves to perform. Who are you performing for? I mean, like you said, if one person showed up, what if you changed that one person's life and that person then in turn did something, unbelievable? That you may never know. You may never know how your light shines onto other people and what ends up impacting them or not impacting them. But you have to try and do it, because if you don't, you're just hiding your light, you're just hiding your gifts, you're hiding your talents. And I think the fear part of that is what it's just so ingrained in all of us.
Well, I had joy just in working with that one person because I got to use my gift. I felt fulfilled, even though it wasn't 10 people, it was one. And then we did have a second session. She wanted to come back for some more. So I know that there
Right.
was
Hmm.
there was benefit there for her.
And there was joy for you, because your joy is getting to do what you do, right? It's
Right.
kind of like me with the podcast. If one person hears it, I have my joy. If nobody hears it, I guess I hear my joy anyways, because I get to have the experience with the guests that I have with you, um, in the RV, the adventures, and that's my joy. And I want to tell other people's stories. So whether there's one person listening or thousands of people listening, you're right. I still got to experience my joy of what brings me joy. And hearing about other people and learning about other people and sharing and being able to uplift them and highlight them, that's what brings me joy. So you're right. And the fear is the piece that squashes so much of that for so many. And I wish there was something that we could do, like perfume we could make, where you just put it on and like all of that would just go away. But there isn't. But it is doing things that we're talking about and having action and getting out of your head and stop having limited beliefs and all of those things that can take you to a point where you're ready to see the door that's open, the next door that's open.
Yeah, we have to trust that it will show up. And I know that it's not easy when you first start out on this journey to set and wait because we're so excited about we're going somewhere. But then we go, I don't know where that is. And maybe you will be surprised and delighted. Most of the times you will be, because if you're not surprised and delighted, it's not the right door.
Mm-hmm. And I think that even, I mean, I was excited on a year ago at the beginning of this journey, and I can
Yes, you
tell you
were.
that that I'm still excited, but I also can tell you that I've had a lot of peaks and a lot of valleys through the last year. It has not been just, unicorns and candy throwing at me. Um, and it's how you handle those moments when you're in the valley that matters for how your peaks come out.
You can't get down on yourself
No,
because there's nothing you can do about it. So you just have to be patient.
right. The other piece too is that it's it's believing in yourself enough, other people don't have to know what you're doing. They don't have to agree with what you're doing. In fact, most of them probably won't. It's your dream. It's your destiny. It's your journey. It's finding your joy, finding your purpose. It's not about somebody else's because Bonita's is not the same as mine. Mine is not the same as anyone else's. And it's getting out of your head to understand that because social media puts so much pressure on us that you should be like this or you should be doing this or and that's not true.
No, we want you to be true to yourself.
Yes.
You have to be your own best friend here. Have your own back.
Right. Well, it's funny because this has been coming out about, what do you want to be when you grow up? And I really do want to experience, as I go into traveling this next year, jobs or, lifestyles that people have that maybe I've never experienced. And I want to see what that's like and what brings them joy and what makes them happy. I can tell you that something that makes somebody happy probably isn't going to be what's going to make me happy. But being able to highlight their joy, because you can tell when somebody is really into something, excited about something, loves something, it just like oozes out of their body, And that makes me happy. I don't have to like it, but it makes me happy to be able to share that with other people.
I remember seeing a Facebook post about, like, I don't know, John Lennon's mother asked him what he wanted to be when he grew up, and he said happy. Yeah, that's what we all want.
Yes.
I want to feel happy.
And the other thing too is, and I think as women, we need to kind of learn how to like navigate this, but don't steal other people's happiness. Just because something isn't your cup of tea or it's not something you would do, it doesn't mean that it's like you should knock the person for doing it or making fun of them for if that's their joy, like let's embrace it. Let's make a light shine on it. Let's lift it up instead of knocking it down and making somebody kind of feel lesser than because their thing of joy isn't what yours is.
Right. We need to celebrate other people's successes of where
Yes.
they find joy. I mean, it may not be my way, but hey, I'm really happy for you that you've
Right.
found what lights you up and what you're bringing out to the world.
Well, and that's the next thing I was just going to say, because when you find what lights you up, usually those are the people that actually are doing something. They've taken an action, they've started something, they're trying something. And when you start putting yourself out into the world, you start finding that people start criticizing you or trying to knock you down off of whatever it is that you're trying to shine your light for. That is what human nature people do. And so the more that you put yourself out there, the more be ready for that will come at you. But just know it's really not an attack on you. It's more on those people and their insecurities and their lack of self-confidence
Right.
that they're putting that against you.
Yeah, some people don't know how to find their own happiness, so
They
they're
steal
going to
others.
they're going to just kind of stew in that themselves.
Yeah.
And yeah. And we don't want that to happen. We want you
No.
to move forward and have your best life because we feel like we're having our best life for now. There might be another step up on that best life coming up. We just don't know, but that's the fun of it. Wonder what's
Yes.
next. What's next?
Yes. But my be honest question for you is this. What book have you read lately that you absolutely loved?
Um,
Be honest.
there's so many. um, Infinite Possibilities by Mike Dooley. Higher Purpose by Robert Holden. Your Soul's Plan by Robert Schwartz.
Ooh,
There's
I've not
just
read that one.
so many interesting. Anything by Paul Selig. I Am the Word. A Man's Consciousness of Self in Transitioning Times. That was a huge one for me. That was the only book I ever had to move away from my nightstand because it was giving off so much energy I couldn't sleep.
Which one was that?
I am the word.
Yes, that's a great book. Yes.
So how about you, Joni?
Mine, mine is Higher Purpose by Robert Holden. In fact, I'm going to tell you, I'm probably going to put this at the top of my list. Um, I first got it because you sent me a page out of it that had something to do with bees. And of course, I was intrigued. So I got it on my Kindle and I was in my RV in Savannah and I started reading it. And I am not a big Kindle reader, I like a book. And as I was leaving Savannah, I was going to be traveling for 8 or 9 hours. So I wanted it on Audible. So I bought it on Audible. I listened to it. When I got back in Tennessee, there was so much on Audible that I had listened to that I wanted to remember or highlight. That's how I remember things. So I bought the book, the physical book. So I now have the book, physical book, on Audible and on Kindle. But it's a book that for me made so many things come together and make so much sense about your higher purpose and your purpose in general. So it's going to be things that we're going to be talking about here, along with Infinite Possibilities. I love that book, as well as I Am Word. I have read that
You
also.
loved it so much that you what?
Became a certified trainer in it. And so are you. And we haven't even scratched the surface of that yet. That is something that really resonated with me as far as the world is full of infinite possibilities. You just have to have the action, you have to have the belief, you have to have all of the things in order to make your life whatever it is you want it to be.
And
Because
that's
you really can.
everything.
Yes, you really can. And so my last segment that I want to leave you with is, it's going to be called One Thing I Know for Sure. So Bonita, what is one thing you know for sure?
That I haven't found all the things that excite me and make me happy yet.
And that is true. And I want to say one thing I know for sure is, mine are many. Mine is not just one. But one thing I know for sure, you don't have to know where every door leads. You don't have to have your next 5 years figured out. You don't have to have a game plan, a timetable. You don't even have to know what comes after this season. You just have to keep walking, because nobody lives in the hallway. It's a passageway, and we need to remember that. And even when it feels dark, and even when it feels like none of the lights are on in the hallway, God's still working in the hallway. And infinite possibilities don't disappear just because you can't see them. Sometimes the hallway is where we have to learn to trust ourselves. And sometimes the hallway is just where we need to sit for a minute and heal. Sometimes it's where we discover who we really are. And sometimes it's simply there because we're passing through on our way to something we never, ever could have ever imagined.
Well, I say amen to that. That's for sure my life. No idea I'd be doing this work. Just like you had no idea you were going to be doing podcasting.
It's a fun life. And I can't wait to see where this takes us. They say that for a podcast to be successful, you have to do at least 10 episodes, and I'm getting really close. That's exciting in itself. I am excited to be on this journey with you, and I appreciate you taking time today to sit with me and talk about this. So thank you, Bonita. Is there anything you want to leave with us in closing?
Just don't close your eyes to what's around you, because there is so much possibility out there of things that will light you up. And you've got to be brave enough and trust enough to notice them and then take action.
Maybe that's just what we need to remember this week. And maybe you needed to hear it, because I'm going to tell you this is the episode that I needed to get out there into the world because I needed it. And the hallway is not your destination. It's not mine for sure either. We're not meant to unpack our bags there. And we're not to decide that that's just as life as good as it gets, because it's just a passageway. And when it feels dark, and if you're unsure of which door is going to open next, you don't have to have all the answers. Just keep waiting for the nudge. Keep waiting for the signals and the signs. Just keep walking. Maybe there's something even better ahead. And if you're living in the hallway right now, I want you to know something. It's not too late. It's never too late to trust yourself again. It's never too late to begin again. It's never too late to have a dream. It's never too late to believe that infinite possibilities still exist for your life, because they do. And until the next time we gather around the table, keep leading with love, keep looking for the light, and remember, you got this.